Hey, what's up, family? Welcome to Ask to My Eyes.
where we challenge you to stop playing and start pushing.
This right here is my gorgeous wife, Iana.
And this right here, this is my amazing protector, my husband, Ayize.
I protect you, baby.
Yes, you do.
I do.
Yes. Yes.
What's up, y'all? Hey, really quickly, I wanted to know, when it comes to raising your children, do you sometimes straddle the fence or wrestle with the difficulty in making the decision about what to expose them to and what not to expose them to? We've oftentimes had conversations in our relationship about what's the appropriate level of exposure to give your children. Now, you know, we come from a space where our orientation is one where we're constantly reinforcing the importance of looking at your history, looking at the things that have been done to you, not just done to you, but also looking at the things that you've done from a historical perspective. So just all of the great accomplishments that we made as people of African descent, all of the terrible things that we've experienced as people of African descent. And so again, we've had to have difficult conversations about whether or not we should be exposing our children to certain things, especially when it comes to the tragedy of our experience. And I'm lifting this up because I was just walking through our office and I stumbled across a picture that one of our children had issue with when he was younger. Now, we actually put this particular picture up.
And we were probably a little premature.
Yeah, so, you know.
Look at the picture, y'all. Tell them about it, babe.
So in this picture right here, what it says is a horrible lynching. Now, in this picture right here, we have had it up at certain periods of time, and then we also took it down. And we took it down based off of what one of our younger children experienced when they were at a younger age. Actually, our oldest child, Asante. What he said to us was that he was actually kind of scared based off of seeing this picture. And so certain things he internalized based off of...
He was much younger.
Yeah, he was much younger. He's probably like about 4 or 5. And so he was scared about seeing this picture. And so not only did we have that picture, but we also had, we had a number of pictures up. Now, a lot of these pictures are empowering, and we're definitely going to lift them and put them back up. You know, this picture right here of Malcolm X.
It said, all Negroes are angry, and I am the angriest of them all. It's Brother Malcolm.
Brother Malcolm. You got Billie Holiday right here. You got the Honorable Marcus Garvey right here.
What'd I say? Yeah, some of these posts are so
somebody
powerful.
said, we must keep our business to ourselves. We must be as wise as the serpent and appear to be harmless as the dove. We must strike at the right moment. And so I'm lifting these up, y'all. And more specifically, I was really talking about the one in which you just saw the picture of the lynching. Because, again, that picture right there, what it did was it showed our children an experience that we've had in our history that has been a painful one, a tragic one, a hurtful one that we had wanted to, you know, lift up and let them know that it's a part of our reality. But at the same time, too, we have overcome in many ways from that experience. You got a picture of Harriet Tubman right now, right here. The great Carter G. Woodson.
Yes. You didn't read none of the things.
You got Ida B. Wells. A passion for justice. One had better die fighting against injustice than die like a dog or a rat caught in a trap.
My.
And then this was another picture right here, too. That was, you know.
A little much for the kiddies when they're really little.
It says, the victim usually forgives, but the perpetrator rarely repents. The victim usually forgives, but the perpetrator rarely repents. And so again, you know, the purpose of this particular video right here was, again, to ask you all the question, have you encountered certain experience, which I'm sure you have as a person of African descent, that have been challenging to you emotionally and that the children have been exposed to, that you've questioned yourself or even your partner as to whether or not we should share. And so we just share with you some images that we've had up in our household, and that we'll be putting back up. But we've had these images up, and our children, some of our children have responded in such a way where it's been kind of shocking, been kind of painful, been kind of scary to them. So we've had to remove them because we didn't want to expose them necessarily prematurely to what some of the tragedy is that we've experienced as people of African descent. And so again, it's not to say that they have to be removed completely. And it's not even to say that they shouldn't be up at all. But what it is to say is that be mindful of each of your children's personality, each of your children's emotional state, and how they might possibly respond to what it is that you're doing, how you're flowing, what it is that you're saying, because they're extremely impressionable and they're taking in so much. And so this history right here, it's a beautiful history. It's a beautiful history in the sense that it's prepared us and equipped us to become who we are today. It's a beautiful history in the sense that we're actually great kings and queens that have accomplished so much. And so our children get a chance and an opportunity to see that as long as we're exposing that to them. In the midst of it being a beautiful and great history, there's also been a major amount of challenges that we've experienced along the way. And so don't hide those from your children. Don't shelter them from them. Be careful and mindful about how you're going to expose them to it, because again, they're impressionable and you can't necessarily control how they're received if you're not dictating or directing how you're giving it to them.
Okay, so the last thing that I want to say here, because of course we want to make sure that we always do a connection into our relationship, right? Our intimate relationships. You heard my husband talk about our children and how we have to be mindful of what we expose them to. And he talked about making sure that you are not trying to hide things, because in the African American community, we have a legacy of secrets. Being secretive and not talking about things, not talking about our feelings, our emotions, our history, what happened with Uncle so-and-so. Does he have another family over here? This one over here got some domestic violence happening. What's going on in the family? And then our children grow up and they repeating patterns that they had no awareness of because no one took the time to educate them, but be very careful about how they roll these things out. So if we can understand this about children, then what can we take from this and apply to our own relationships? Well, that's something really, really, really big that I just said. Each of us come with our own stuff. We each come with our own individual personal histories, right? And so I am more sensitive to certain things, certain triggers, certain situations, certain words, and certain energy than my husband is. And he likewise, he has his own personal individual path that he's traveled before he got to me. And so as I roll out the things that are important to me, I'm always sensitive of his person. I'm sensitive of his history and kind of what will, be jarring for him. And it's, motivating for me. He is very sensitive to, is really attractive to him and actually puts me off, right? Because we are dedicated to making sure that we are diligent and we are really thoughtful about how we advance ourselves in the relationship while being mindful of how we advance ourselves as a collective. And so we got to do this, y'all. We got to take the same level of interest, the same level of initiative, and the same level of insight that we would use for our precious children and use it for our partners too. We hope that this has been of help to you. Be mindful, be prideful, and be intentional. Stop playing.
And start pushing.